Michelle from Michelle's Empire. I have a really crazy story to tell you guys today about the time that I feel like I saved somebody's life. I really wish I would have taken some video footage for you guys because it's so hard to explain how this person was acting without seeing it for yourself, but I was so scared that the police might catch me through the curtains, so I didn't. So nobody has any idea what I'm talking about, so let me just tell you what happened. Last Saturday, I was getting ready for bed. It was around 1:20 a.m. I was brushing my teeth and my dog started barking. Now, it was really late and I'm thinking to myself, like, why would she be barking so late? I'm a pretty paranoid person. I always feel like somebody might try to break in. I'm always kind of looking around front and back before I go to bed, and if I wake up in the night, if I hear any noises, I'm always looking outside wondering, like, is somebody here? Is somebody trying to get in my house? So my dog barks. I decide to go check it out. I look out my front curtains and there's a man lying on my grass out front of my house. He looked like he was in his early 20s, very slim build, had long sort of curly hair about to this length. It was all just hanging very shaggy. He was very, very sweaty, just pouring with sweat. And he did not look well. He looked like he was on some seriously scary drugs. You could see he kept trying to get up, but all he could do was roll, and he was rolling towards my front porch. Now at this point, I'm thinking, like, is this guy gonna try to get in my house? What's wrong with him? I'm afraid to open the door. It's just me and my young daughter who's asleep. It's, you know, almost 1:30 in the morning. I've never really been in an encounter where I've seen anybody overdosing or on serious drugs where they're acting scary or they're not capable of even moving. So for me, that was really traumatic. I'm sure for a lot of people that would be really scary. He kept rolling and then lying there, and he looked like he was just so messed up. I ended up calling the police after about 15-20 minutes because this guy was not getting up, and I just could not go to bed not knowing what's going to happen to this man. I called the police. They said, do you think he's drunk? I said, maybe. Like, I don't know, but I honestly feel like it was something way more serious than that by the way he was acting. The police showed up about 10 minutes later. They parked, you know, one on this side and one on that side, and they both had their high beams going. So then it was so bright I could see everything. When they got there, they tried to sit this man up, and as soon as they sat him up, he just started liquidy bile looking type stuff out of his mouth all over himself and was just falling back down. Like, he wasn't sleeping. That's the thing. It wasn't like he was passed out drunk. He was awake, but he was just not capable of moving. I was watching every second through those curtains, and the police actually ended up being there for quite some time trying to talk to this guy, trying to move this guy. Every time they tried to get him up and sit him up, they ended up having to roll him over onto his side and hold his one arm up to stop him from choking on his own vomit. He did try to stand up one time in the whole time the police were there, and he went right down on his face. They had to grab him. The police ended up calling the ambulance. When the ambulance came, this was probably a good half an hour later. Maybe they were trying to get him up and going and get him to his own place, but when they realized they couldn't, then they called the ambulance. I'm not really sure why it was taking so long. But when the ambulance came, each police officer had to grab him by their arm and put him face down on the stretcher and then take his legs and put them up. Anyway, since that day, every night now, I'm kind of dreading the nighttime because I keep wanting to look outside and thinking, like, is that guy going to end up being back here? After the police had left and they were looking with flashlights and didn't seem to find anything, I thought first thing in the morning I'm going to go out and see maybe what they were looking for. I was too nervous to go out and ask really what was going on. Really, it's not my business. I didn't want this man who was all messed up to see me and think I called the police on him and maybe come back for me, or the police to just think I'm being nosy. But really, I was just genuinely concerned. What was wrong with this guy? Am I right and correct in that he was on some serious drug? Was he trying to get help? In the morning when I went and looked outside, right around the grass area where he had been, there was a ripped up piece of mail with a man's name on it and an address, and it just so happens that the address is one street over from me. The house is directly across the street from my daughter's school. So I don't know if that was related to him, if that was his, but if it was, possibly he thought my house was his house. So I don't know if that should give me some comfort that he wasn't coming for me. He wasn't coming to break in my house to get a score. I sort of feel scared even more so if we have a drug addict living so close right across the street from my daughter's school. I even Google mapped the address actually, and the roof, he has the same color roof as I do, so he very well could have thought it was my house, and if he has a real drug problem, that could very well happen again. My moral of the story for anybody who might happen to see this is, please, if you see anybody who's fucked up lying on the ground, don't approach them. Yes, it's great to call and get help, but you never know if they're going to try to attack you, if it's a scam. I heard there were some guys going around at one point and they were putting a baby seat outside of people's houses or leaving it on the side of the road and having like a sound box in there with a crying baby. So when you got out of your car or you came out of your house, they would grab you, they would attack you, they'd come in and rob you or steal your car. You just never know. It really is a crazy world out there. I'm glad I got the man help. I mean, I would be 100% more messed up about this and traumatized if I had woken up to somebody dead on my lawn. I really truly believe that I saved that man's life. I feel like he was having an overdose and crawling towards my porch or rolling towards my porch to try to get help. Anyways, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this crazy story. It's in my nightmares now. I'm hoping eventually I will forget about this. Hope you're having an awesome day. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe for more videos, and thanks so much for watching.